2021. Now this is a very important event on the schedule because the modern day martini is the ice-cold fuel of the American dream. There is no question whatsoever that the martini was the drink of choice of Winston Churchill, Franklin Roosevelt, Jack London, Ernest Hemingway, Richard Nixon, and Roger Stone. Now, you can have a gin martini, or you can have a vodka martini. President Nixon preferred gin. I myself prefer vodka. The difference is quite simple. In the instance of a gin martini, you stir and you don't shake because shaking bruises the gin. But in the instance of a vodka martini, you shake vigorously. Let me be clear. If there are not tiny shards of ice on the surface of the martini, you have fucked this up. There's a number of different stories about the origins of this drink. There are some who say that it was first produced in San Francisco by a bartender who called himself the Professor. He was at the El Dorado Hotel. A gentleman came in who was heading to Martinez, California. He threw a gold nugget on the bar and said, "Make me a special drink." And this is what the bartender came up with. That's one version. There's another version that says that I want to get this exactly right, that a bartender whose name was Martini di Arma di Taglia, who was working at the Knickerbocker Hotel in New York City, came up with this concoction. Because he's an Italian American, I tend to believe his story, not the other guy. I am going to go through the rudimentaries of this because President Richard Nixon, who was my mentor, and it is true that I have a tattoo of him on my back, about the size of a grapefruit, kind of floats right between my shoulders. And it's not a political statement, it really isn't. It is a daily reminder that in life, when things don't go your way, when you lose, when you strive for something but you fall short again and again, when you're disappointed, when you're discouraged, well, that's when you got to get up off the mat, dust yourself off, and get back in the fight.
That's right. That's right.
The story of Nixon is a story of persistence. It's a story of resilience. It's an American story. And he loved his martini, which he called a silver bullet. So we're going to go through the rudimentaries of the silver bullet today. But the fact that I have a tattoo on my back of Richard Nixon means I'm the only man you know with a dick on the front and the back. So I'm going to give you this is kind of a version of Richard Nixon's martini. So you're going to take your cocktail shaker and you're going to fill it with ice. Now you're going to take some vermouth. This is what Baby Rebozo used to do for President Nixon. This was actually, I believe, his variation of the enterprise. Take some vermouth, you shake it up with your ice. Now you discard your vermouth. So you have essentially just coated the ice. Now we take a strong brand of vodka. This is made in the United States.
Texas.
It comes from Texas and it's
Texas in the house.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, we are.
Now, in a perfect world, of course, you would have taken your martini glasses and you would have swished them around with water and thrown them in the freezer to chill. Not required, but desired, as my good friend Joe Flynn points out to me. A man who knows his way around a martini. And we will...
You're going to give me the first one, right?
Then this was yours. This is yours. Is this yours? Hold on a second, then. Couldn't resist.
Roger Stone is James Bond.
So now we shake vigorously. I mean vigorously. Again, if there are not tiny shards of ice on the top, you haven't done it right. There's a variation on this recipe, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. See if I can make this work.
Yummy.
Mouth-watering.
Mr. Flynn, step forward.
Thank you very much. My hands are shaking.
Con provecho.
Now, there is an alternative which works every bit as well, where you take your bottle of olives, you drain the juice, you fill it with water, you put the cap back on, you shake it vigorously, now you drain the
Roger, you
water.
outdid yourself.
You pour in, you fill it with vermouth, and you put it in the refrigerator, where it chills. And then, instead of swishing the vermouth around the ice, you simply take 1 or 2 olives and drop it into the martini. The first time President Nixon did that for me, we were at his home in Saddle River, New Jersey, and he said, "You want a silver bullet?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he made it, and of course it was amazing. I said, "This is a great recipe," and he said, "Yeah, I got it from Winston Churchill." So, who's next?
Here.
I'm
Why
next.
don't you jump in here and help me? This is my associate Jacob Engels, referred to in the Daily Beast as Roger Stone's mini-me. But you know those people at Daily Beast, they never get anything right. He makes a hell of a cocktail. All right, so here's the shaker. So let's get 2 of those going.
Okay, Roger. We need another cup here.
Yeah, we're working on it. Oh, I see that.
Your other piece.
So Roger, what are your thoughts on a dirty martini?
You know, this is all a matter of personal taste. I'm not into the dirty martini, but my friends are, so you throw a little olive juice in there. We can accommodate you. We were prepared for that eventuality. I figured if politics doesn't work out, I could get a job as a bartender.